What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna teach you how to get a big and aesthetic back. Let's get right into it. First of all, we need to understand what a big and aesthetic back is. Big is obviously just bigger muscles, and aesthetic is gonna refer to having a V-taper. This is gonna be the most important thing for aesthetics in almost all cases. Even if you're a girl, a guy, doesn't even matter. You want a V-taper to have an aesthetic physique and especially to have an aesthetic back. So how we're gonna achieve an aesthetic build, aka a V-taper, is gonna be, if you don't know what a V-taper is, it pretty much means your waist is just small and your shoulders or your upper body is gonna be wide, because that creates a V shape. Small waist, big and wide shoulders. And why the back is so important for that is because your lats can heavily contribute to a V-taper, even if you don't have wide clavicles, which means how long this bone is. You can have your shoulders close together or wide apart. But even if you have narrow clavicles and your shoulders aren't naturally very wide, with big lats you can still make your back a lot more aesthetic. You can create a pretty good V-taper still. So how we're gonna do that is, first of all, getting lean, because if you have fat next to your belly here, your waist is just gonna be bigger, and also it's gonna take away from a lot of detail in your back. So you won't be able to see all the muscles if there's fat in the way. So how you're gonna get rid of fat is just following a good diet. You need to be in a caloric deficit to lose fat. That's pretty simple. I have other videos on diet if you want to watch them, but I'm gonna keep it at this for this video. Next up is gonna be the muscles you need to train. As I mentioned, the most important muscle for aesthetics is going to be your lats, which are the muscle right here at the outside. So they're gonna create that V-taper. You also have some muscles on your upper back and your mid back, but they're not gonna make your back look wider. They're not gonna give you that V-taper, so they're less important. How you're gonna train your lats perform this motion. So if you're doing pull-ups or a let's say wide grip pull-up, whatever, that's gonna train your lats really well. You train your lats like any other muscle for the most part, so just do 2 to 3 times frequency, or 3.5 times frequency, which is every other day, and look at how much you can recover from. So for 2 times frequency, I would do maybe 3 to 5 sets. That's gonna be recoverable usually. And for 3 or 3.5 times frequency, I would do 2 sets per workout, which is also gonna be recoverable usually, maybe a bit more even. And as I said, your lats perform this motion, they also perform this motion, and I also believe they contribute in internal rotation, but you shouldn't have to worry about little things like that. So what you can do is either pick an exercise or multiple exercises where you train this and this. This is shoulder extension, this is adduction, a deduction of the arm. You can do either or both. I personally do both. I do 3 times frequency, one wide grip lat pull down, one close grip lat pull down, and that's it for my lats. You don't need to do any more sets for your lats. Single sets are still going to be very effective, especially because that's 6 total sets in a week, which is pretty high, especially for 3 times frequency. Next up is gonna be your upper back, which refers to your rear delts, which isn't your back, it's your shoulders, but it's still at the back of your body, so it matters, of course. And your traps, which your traps aren't just this small muscle here. They're actually a very visible and a much bigger muscle than it appears right here. So you should also train it. It gets trained with retraction of your scapula or your shoulders, which is the motion I just performed, and then your rear delts perform this motion. And as you can see, if I'm doing a row, I'm performing this, and I'm also performing this. So a wide grip row is going to train your rear delts really well, and your upper back, of course. I personally wouldn't do any sort of shrug, because I don't think upper traps here look very good, and they also get trained in a wide grip row, of course. But that's how you're gonna grow your upper back. You can also do Kelso shrugs, which is this motion and then a separate exercise for your rear delts, like this. That's how you're going to target your upper back. I personally wouldn't do my upper traps. And the last muscle for your back, which is also the most underrated muscle. Almost no one talks about this, but it's going to be your spinal erectors, which people also refer to as your lower back. And how you're going to train that is through spinal extension, which pretty much means if this is your spine and it's rounded, you're going to want to straighten and arch your spine. Which sounds a bit weird, you don't see many people training this, but it's a very effective exercise. And what that's going to do is it's going to make your lower back bigger, of course, and it's going to add a lot of detail to your back, which I personally think looks very good. You see, if you compare physiques with and without spinal erectors, I can guarantee you're going to choose the one without or with the spinal erectors. It just adds more detail, it's very aesthetic, and that's pretty much it for this video. Oh wait, an exercise for your spinal erectors would be spinal extensions, as I mentioned, and you can just use a back extensions machine, put the pad to your belly button height, and just round and arch your back. And you can also hold dumbbells or a barbell if you want to. I would still go heavy on this exercise, assuming you don't have any current back injuries. You can go heavy on them. It's not like your spine is meant to bend, and it's not like you're instantly gonna get injured if you go heavy. They're again like any other muscle. So slowly progress until you're at a heavy weight and just train them like any other muscle. Train them pretty heavy and with some intensity at least. That's gonna be it for this video. This should be everything you need to know to get an aesthetic back. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.